On today's video, we are going to be refreshing my front porch and entryway. It was a real mess, and I think you're going to like the end results. Y'all, my house looked haunted, and it isn't even Halloween yet. There were spider webs everywhere, on the light fixtures, on the, chairs, the wreaths, toys everywhere, candles turned over, things needed to be painted. Those lanterns, I've been looking at them for probably like a year now, wanting to paint them. These chairs were in rough shape. I mean, just check out the dirt and the grime everywhere. We have company coming in a few weeks, so I wanted to get my porch cleaned up just so it looked presentable. I had high hopes of fixing everything up, but didn't quite get around to all of it, but let me show you what I did. So these planters, they're looking kind of rough. Usually I put new ferns in them every year. This year I didn't even do that. So these are from last year. They're looking rough. So the first thing that I decided to do was just to cut down all of the old, fern leaves that were left. I was going to replant them with new ferns, but my husband went up to Home Depot and the ferns weren't even looking good there. So I decided, I guess I'll just leave them looking like this for now until I can get a better resolution. But really, they're a lot better than they were, so they're at least a big improvement. What do y'all think? Do you think I should leave them as is or run up and get some pansies? Okay, so on to the next project. These are Pottery Barn lanterns that I purchased probably right when we moved into our house about 8 years ago. And, they've been outside for all these years and they're just kind of starting to look rough. They're starting to get a little bit corroded. They have completely faded. So the first thing that we did is, this was a family project. I had my husband. He basically power washed the entire front porch and front entryway, and then all the things that were on it he cleaned. I had to give this a good clean too, and then I went ahead and just sprayed it with my Rustoleum black flat paint, and they look a whole lot better now. So, just a simple little improvement, but it makes a big difference. I painted these a couple weeks ago when it was still hot outside. It was pretty hot when I painted it. It sure is nice and cool now. Anyway, so these are those, antique looking or vintage looking planters that I had on my porch. When I first purchased them, they had a little bit of distressing, and they didn't look bad like that. I actually liked them with a little bit of distressing. Now they just looked like a hot mess. So all I did is I took my spray paint again and I just gave them a quick coat of paint. I could always go back. I tried to, kind of brush off the loose paint that was coming off, but this is kind of just a quick fix just to get it looking good. I can always go back and, if I ever get time, and rub off the old paint and do it again. But this is just kind of a quick little fix just to make it look good for now. Hey, if you're liking this video, I would love for you to give me a like and comment on what you think so far. Okay, so this is another project that had been bothering me for a while. So I don't really know what you call that. It's like the little kick plate or the little wood that's right before you go into the house. Well, it was another mess. It's wood and it had a little bit of varnish on it on some areas, and the other areas it had come off. So I decided to give it a refresh. Even though my husband had painted or had power washed it, it was still a little bit dirty. So then I took this paint, I always botch his name, Algonquin paint. There was just a little bit, probably like a quarter of an inch of paint left in there, and I decided to make a wash in the actual, bottle itself or jar itself. So I just took some water and then I just mixed it up with the paint to make a wash. And then I painted it on. So this is going to be a layering process. And let me tell you what, I painted this is a Saturday with my kids and my husband at home. I think every one of the kids, at least my two boys, stepped on this thing multiple times, even though we kept telling them not to, but it is what it is. So anyway, first you're going to put, I cleaned it really good. Then I sanded it, down a little bit, just hand sanded it with, some sandpaper. Wipe that off, the dust off. Then I gave it a coat of paint with this wash. And that's what I'm doing now. I'm just doing that wash just to give it a, kind of seal it up. And then it evens up, the kick plate or wood. What is the name of that? What do you call that thing right there? If you know what it's called, put it in the comments. So anyway, I ended up having to open the doors. Both of these doors, they both open. We have double front doors, and they do both open. I only ended up opening it on that one side. I didn't need to on the other side. So I just wanted to give it a refresh and make it look better. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I am going to get out my two stain finishing oils. These are from Fusion Mineral Paints. I love these finishing oils. So one of them is in the color of taupe, and one of them is, I believe it's called Ebony. I'm pretty sure it's called Ebony, but long story short, it's black. I sell both of these products. I love Fusion Mineral Paint, and I've used it for many years. I actually sell it. I have a website. It's www.jbowenandcompany.com, and I also sell it in my store at Barrett's Antique Mall and Auction House, or is it Auction House and Antique Mall? I always get it mixed up, but it's in North Georgia, in Alto, Georgia, just north of Gainesville, Georgia, about 20 minutes. Anyway, you can find those products there, and if you're interested in purchasing any of these products, you can purchase them on my website or in person, and I can get them shipped right out to you. So I'm just kind of finishing up. There was an area in the right-hand side that kind of gave me a little bit of trouble right there. I don't know if you can see it, but I think it was because I didn't sand down enough, and so I ended up having a little bit of trouble. I had to go back at the end off camera and just put a little bit more paint on it, and anyway, fixed it right up. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to mix up these finishing oils really good. You have to stir them up. I always just use a plastic fork like from takeout, and I mix it up really well because there's always little particles in the bottom, and you want to make sure and get it mixed up. And then I'm going to do the same with the taupe one and then with the black one. So I learned this trick from one of my friends, and it's really cool. You can also do this on furniture, and I plan on doing this on my back porch as well, on my table that's on my back porch. But anyway, what you're going to do is you're just going to take this stain finishing oil, and you're just going to dip your fork in there, and then you're just going to kind of drizzle it on the wood. So you're going to do that with one color, the taupe, and then you're going to do this with the ebony. It's basically but you don't want to do near as much with the black one because it depends on what color you want it. I wanted to keep it lighter. If you want to keep it darker, you can. So then you're just going to take a rag, preferably a lint-free rag. This is just an old baby wash rag that I had from my kids. I couldn't let go of them, so I just use them, to do stuff like this, but I think I ended up throwing it away. My son, who I use this on, is now 17, so it's about time to get rid of it, which I did. Anyway, I didn't have enough of the taupe on there, so I just went back and put more on there. So the cool thing about this finishing oil is there is a top coat in it, so once it is on there completely and it dries, it's sealed. You don't have to put a seal on it, but it kind of basically gives it that Pottery Barn / restoration hardware finish, and it just looks really cool. And just watch how it does this. I'm also going to demonstrate something else for you. I can't decide if I'm going to put it in this video or another one, because I'm also redoing my back porch. Because like I said, we have family coming in, company coming in, my parents and a cousin of mine, and they're staying at my house, plus other people will be here. And I just need my back porch space looking good and my front porch space looking good. See, that's that little corner that was giving me a little bit of trouble. That paint wasn't sticking. So later on, I went back and fixed it. It wasn't any big deal. But anyway, you see that finish that it gives it? It gives it kind of like a natural kind of like a wood grain finish. And you can always just add more if you want to lighten it up, add more taupe color. And if you want to, you know, darken it up, you can just add the black. But it's a fantastic product. I love it, and I've used it on multiple items already. Those cans, they're small cans, but they go a long way. You can do a lot of projects with them. So this is a couple of weeks later, and the spiders are back out, so I had to get my broom out like a little old lady and brush them off of the lights and the little topiary things. But, you know, overall, I think the porch looks a lot better. I didn't get time to, or I didn't have time to make over those rocking chairs, so that will be saved for another day. And y'all look, the leaves are starting to fall. It's kind of rainy today, kind of a little bit dark and gloomy. Anyway, just wanted to show you how everything turned out. I just put out one pumpkin because it's still just, you know, the first part of September, and I usually don't put out my Halloween till a little bit later. But anyway, here is the final reveal, and I hope I could just encourage you to get out there and to do a little bit of cleaning up and spiffing up your front porch area, your front entryway. I think you will definitely enjoy it because I sure have. If you're now in the mood for some fall crafting, take a look at my latest video. It'll be right there in the comments.